right. Hey, everyone. You might notice something a little bit different if you are watching us live or on a video. So today is an awesome day, but also kind of a sad day. Awesome because we have someone amazing that we're going to introduce here in a second who is with us. You probably noticed that there's a third person here who's not normally here, but it's sad because of COVID restrictions. They said we can only have two in the studio at a time. So I'm just home by my little old sad self. Wow, Rebecca and Natalie are like having the time of their lives in the radio studio, but it's fine. So I also, you might notice, I have a headband on today. I am doing that because I Zoomed with Natalie earlier today and she looked so cute. I was like, I have to have a headband. I want to try to look as cute as Natalie. It's a tough act to follow. Sorry if you guys are listening to this on a podcast or on the radio show and you don't get to see her because she's adorable. With no further ado.
Oh.
I didn't tell Rebecca. Sorry, I feel left out because I'm not at the studio, so Rebecca has to feel left out because she doesn't have a headband. Fair is fair. All right, so let me tell you who this Natalie is and why we're so excited to have her today. Natalie has been in the KETO-SIStas world for about a year, and this is a true story. When she first kind of started like hanging out in the KETO-SIStas world, Rebecca and I said to each other, like, how about that Natalie West? She's kind of amazing. This is true, Natalie. I don't know if we've ever told you this. We're like, isn't she kind of great? We need her doing more in the KETO-SIStas world. So we were like talking about you behind your back because she's just this amazing force. That is a true story, another true story. All right. Natalie is a registered nurse. She has 5 kids, you all, 5, an entire hand full of kids. She is a go-getter. She is the co-founder of our breakthrough coaching program that we have as part of the KETO-SIStas world. She's on our dream team. She's just amazing. I cannot wait for you to hear her story. So as you're tuning in, I would love if you would tell us where you're coming from, how long you've been in the KETO-SIStas community. And with no further ado, because you're not here to listen to me, you're here to hear, that's hard to say, from Natalie. Natalie, I would love for you to tell us a little bit about yourself and what brought you into this world.
Well, as you mentioned, I am a registered nurse and I am a mother in a blended family. So I have 5 boys and 2 boy dogs and my husband, which means I'm outnumbered as far as testosterone goes, but we make it work. I moved to Northern Kentucky in 2008. Before that, I pretty much spent the majority of my life in Alaska. So that's something new for me. I came into the keto world because of keto nurse Rhonda, who I work with. She's also a registered nurse. And I just saw a lot of amazing results that were coming from the world that she was in. And so I was curious and I never do anything halfway. So when I came into the KETO-SIStas world, I came in pretty much charging like a rhino, and everybody else was just going to have to keep up with me. With the KETO-SIStas for about a year now, close to a year, and absolutely loving the ladies and the community. It's been a blast.
Awesome. We're so excited to have you here today, Natalie. So when you were kind of watching Keto Nurse Rhonda and seeing some of the benefits that she was experiencing, like what changes did you notice in her at first?
One, I just noticed that she was a lot more happy. You know, her mood was better and she's more upbeat. And she was like, well, you know, I wasn't sleeping well. And then she started sleeping well, which everybody knows, anybody that's a mom knows lack of sleep can really affect your mood. So overall, she was just more jovial and happy. And after a while, you know, that curiosity peaks and I was wondering, hey, what are you doing? What's making you this way?
Yeah.
I want some.
Yeah, because if mama's not happy, nobody's happy, right?
Oh, my boys definitely know. They definitely know mama rules the roost and everybody else just kind of falls in line. So yeah, it works.
Yeah. So if you have not heard our interview with Keto Nurse Rhonda, I would encourage you to go back and look for that episode because she has a great story about her family. And it's so exciting that because of her, we found you or you found us.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you started talking to Rhonda, were you talking about the keto diet, about exogenous ketones, about both?
A little bit of both, actually. I had done some research on my own for the keto diet, but it's out the internet, the World Wide Web is just so full of information. You never
and
know.
misinformation.
And misinformation. You never know what's right, what's not. And I had joined actually a keto group before joining the KETO-SIStas, and one major consistency was keto bullies. Well, it makes you kind of nervous. Should I ask questions? I don't want to ask questions, but I really want to have an answer to this question. And so I felt very uncomfortable. And so she had told me about the 21 Real Day Life Keto Challenge. And she said, hey, you should do this. And again, I'm sure, why not? Okay. I'm pretty agreeable. If you haven't noticed yet, I jumped in and I did the challenge. And I think that was really awesome for me because it helped solidify what I was trying to do. And when she told me about exogenous ketones, it was just the marriage that I needed. It was awesome.
Like the ribbon on the top. Right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry that you had a poor experience with other keto groups, but that's actually one of the reasons that KETO-SIStas was born, because there is so much information and misinformation out there. And we kept hearing from people, well, I heard this, or I saw this, and I was told this. And certain groups out there are like keto bullies or keto police, and it's their way or the highway, right? And we're like, well, we're all individuals. We all have different metabolisms. We're at different stages of life. We have different tolerances for maybe meal prepping versus eating out. Our schedules are all different. So we just felt like a one size fits all approach just didn't really serve people that well. And so the Real Life Keto movement was born basically to help people find what fits a healthier lifestyle in their real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
And can I just say, how happy were you living in a household with so many guys? Weren't you so happy when you got into the KETO-SIStas community? There's like one guy out of every 300 girls. Like we are, in case you can't tell with all the pink up on the screen, we're pretty predominantly girls. So it is just like, it really is like a sisterhood. I mean, have gotten so close. It's just a community of bonding women, just kind of all experiencing the same thing, all in our own little different way. But just that unity that we have is really powerful.
Oh, absolutely. I have built for sure lifelong friendships and relationships from the KETO-SIStas. So I am 100% big fan, huge. So.
Well, and you're a big part of our community now.
Absolutely. It didn't start that way, but I think that's one thing that I love about the KETO-SIStas, that if you have a desire to help and just, pour into people, there's a place for you to help and do that. And I think that that's awesome because it helps you. It's helped a lot of people come out of their shell. It's helped a lot of people, step up and become leaders, not just for the KETO-SIStas world, but, everything in between their own life, because they have that confidence and people pouring into them. And that positive environment is it's priceless. It truly is.
Yeah. And that spillover thing was not anything that we really anticipated or were planning for. We literally were just trying to teach the keto lifestyle to people in a way where they could make informed choices about the best fit for them. And the nice byproduct of that, by being a positive, encouraging community, we've seen more people like Natalie kind of raise their hands and say, I like what you're doing here. I'd like to be a bigger part of it, and feeling supported and encouraged to do that.
I'm pretty sure the quote was, I'm stuck with you, or you're stuck with me as a KETO-SISta unless you say otherwise. I think that's pretty much what I told them. So,
well, we are happy to be stuck with you.
All right. So you told us you were watching Rhonda, you saw the changes in her. And so then what was your next step when you were like, all right, I'm going to check this out? Where were you? You checked out the KETO-SIStas. And then what did that look like for your family, for your own lifestyle?
Well, backstory, I have a son who actually he's 17, he'll be 18 soon. And the current state of our world, I think we all kind of know where we are right now. He couldn't go to school and couldn't a lot of things. And he got super depressed. Well, emotional eating, I've been guilty of it a lot. And so that's one of the habits I had passed on to him. He was an emotional eater. And while I noticed weight gain, I just didn't realize how much he had gained. And we went to his pediatrician for a checkup, and the pediatrician was throwing around terms like gastric bypass. Well, I think, as a parent, it's heart wrenching. And so, I really immersed myself in the KETO-SIStas community and was trying to teach my son everything that I was learning. And then the exogenous ketones, because, just how I felt, I felt comfortable with my son drinking them, and he loved them. And progress report, he, as of a couple days ago, is down 60 pounds, which is huge. So yeah, it's been amazing.
Yeah. Well, and Natalie, when you're sharing that story about your son, and I've heard you talk about that, sometimes we get kind of emotional as moms, but like a lot of our listeners can really relate to that, right? The last 18 months or so have been super challenging. And for those either kids in school or those with kids in school, like there's an extra layer even. I'm an empty nester, so my kids have been kind of launched. So it didn't impact us in the same way as moms who are trying to juggle their life changing and then also helping their kids adjust to really pretty traumatic changes in their everyday routine. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And just the isolation that everybody experienced, like quarantining at home, having fewer social opportunities to go out and engage with friends. It has taken very much a toll on us. And I think our health, aside from, the virus itself, I think most people's health has taken a toll. It's taken a toll on their bodies and their emotional health.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Bridget, are you okay?
I'm good. I get choked up every time I hear. So I was on with Natalie earlier, and she showed me a picture of him and just the happiness like on his face, just celebrating that 60-pound milestone. So I do get emotional. You all know that. I mean, I have 4 kids. Like I get very just torn up thinking about just how hard it has been for kids, and just so thankful that this community, the exogenous ketones, the keto lifestyle, was able to have such an impact on Natalie that then has had a trickle impact on her entire family. It just makes me happy. So it's just happy tears.
And as a mom, like to hear the pediatrician tossing around those terms about a major surgery for your child, like that. I mean, talk about a wake-up call. It's like, oh my goodness, what can we do? And I'm so glad that you were very proactive. And as a nurse, you know even more than just like normal moms out there, like what implications there are from that kind of surgery.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And that was my biggest fear. I said, and that's what I voiced to the pediatrician. I said, this is a lifelong decision, and he's not even an adult yet. How will he feel trying to manage and navigate this after he's out on his own and doing all the things that we do as adults, and finding out, if I eat too much of this or whatever, it's a lot of restrictions versus with me starting him on the keto diet. I really just had him drink exogenous ketones, and I was like, I just want you to do your best. And sometimes that's all you need, is somebody to just encourage you that sometimes your best is enough. And it was just like, it completely changed his whole aspect. And now he doesn't want to, he wants to make better choices, and he feels good. And I catch him doing things I never caught him doing, especially for like the last 2 years, like dancing and just, wanting to go shopping. I mean, I'm like, who is this? And he actually mauled me the other day when I said, well, you're an introvert. And he actually stopped me. He said, I am not an introvert. I'm an extrovert. Did you just see me talking to the random lady in the mall, which he was? And I was like, oh yeah. Like, it was just how he felt. He just felt so bad that, he was misinterpreted as an introvert. He has introverted,
some tendencies.
Tendencies. I don't tell him, but but he is a lot more.
Moms always know best.
Exactly. But he's a lot more extroverted now. And I think because he feels so good, that confidence level has boosted.
And how interesting that you said, you don't have to be perfect. Just try your best, like, and you gave him the space and the permission to make some choices. You gave him some tools, some information to make some choices, and he started making better choices. And that kind of created a snowball, it sounds like, a positive snowball toward other changes, which is something that we've seen time and time and again, right, Bridget?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. That's something I'm always, how nice that we are spiraling in an upward way instead of like spiraling downward, which I feel like for a lot of us as we get older, we just kind of accept like I was just gonna get worse and worse, my health, but instead we are trending it upward, which I love. So Natalie, I would love to know kind of what a typical day looks like for you, for your family with the keto lifestyle. Do you do fasting? Kind of take us through what's typical for you in a day or a week.
Typically for me, I will do exogenous ketones in the morning. I've never been a big breakfast person even before I started keto. So for me, I just fast breakfast just naturally. My biggest meal usually is lunch. So for me, I'll probably have a heavier lunch than anything else because I can fast dinner also. If I'm not feeling hungry, I just don't eat. For my family, I try to do casseroles or things that I know that they'll like. We've started again a habit that we had gotten out of for a while, which is we will pick two main proteins. We'll grill the two main proteins for the week, and then we'll just make sides.
Oh,
so
nice.
even if I'm busy or dad's busy or, just all the things, the kids can make a side and still have a healthy protein and make those choices as well. So then that way they have an option, which again, I think is really helpful because they can grab something on the go or I can just cut up this chicken that we grilled and put it in a salad. And they are making a lot better choices. I tend to shop on Sunday, meal prep, something. So I'll cut up fruits and veggies. Again, if it's there and they see it, they'll make better choices. And I'm a firm believer in that. If you cut up fruits and vegetables and have those in the fridge and other things, they'll make those healthier choices.
Oh, wow. Let's just kind of unpack some of those tips that she threw out there for you. So for a busy family, right? She's a nurse, 5 kids. She's talking about maybe grilling in advance and just grilling up, 2 different types of protein. Having that on hand, it's easy to grab for lunches. Mm-hmm. It's easy to throw together a quick dinner, especially if you've got sporting events to get to. I know my girls both played volleyball, and I know in that season we were so busy, we ate so much fast food. And as much as I loved volleyball and I helped coach volleyball and I just love this sport, I always kind of looked forward to getting back to a normal routine because I just didn't feel good when we ate on the run like that. So I love that you do that and that you're chopping up the fruits and veggies, having those on hand and having them be easy, because so many of the convenience foods out there are very poor nutritional choices. Prepackaged food, lots of preservatives, lots of carbs, lots of things, chemicals that we don't really want in our body. But in our busy society, we really need that convenience. So as a mom, getting that stuff ready over the weekend and having it on hand, you just increase the likelihood that your children will make better choices, right?
Absolutely. And I'm a firm believer in, I tell people I'm keto-ish. I don't eat a strict keto diet, but I'm a firm believer in if you're gonna eat the carbs, fruit, I love fruit. So for me, that's a guilty pleasure. So I could eat, my husband calls it sugar melon, but it's cantaloupe. So, for me, that's one of my favorites. And around this time of year, it's really sweet, so, okay, I'm eating carbs, but it's the good carbs.
Right. If you're going to eat carbs, at least eat carbs that give you vitamins, right? And fiber.
Absolutely.
You're not drinking a sugary soda or eating prepackaged cookies or baked goods, things like that. It's real whole foods. And going back to the keto police, there are some groups out there and some keto, unquote, quote unquote, experts who will vilify you for eating fruit. And I'm like, we like to talk here at KETO-SIStas and a Real Life Keto radio about good, better, best, right? So is sugar melon, which I've never heard that term.
I know.
Or cantaloupe, which, has quite a bit of carbs. Is that a better choice than your prepackaged pretzels or your white powdery donuts or a sugary soda? Absolutely. It's a way better choice.
Mhm.
So can you move somewhere on the continuum? Absolutely. There are a lot of carbs, sometimes even in vegetables. And people are like, oh, well, don't eat that. It's got a lot of carbs. I mean, all carbs are not bad and all carbs are not created equally, right? So you're going to eat some carbs, but like, let's make those carb choices count.
Mhm.
Like you said, enjoy in the summer when things are in season, enjoy some of the fruits that are maybe higher in sugar, but just treat that as your guilty pleasure or as your dessert, because I like to view fruit as nature's dessert.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, something I found for me, I mean, strawberries, we're really big on strawberries and we love those big blueberries in our family. Berries are the best fruit for if you're, when you're doing keto. But if I leave the strawberries in the fridge, no one will cut them up. Like, it's not even hard, y'all. Like, spray some wash on them, cut off the green part. It's super easy. But they will sit there and rot in the fridge. But if I'll take the 5 or 10 minutes to get them cut up, like, they're gone that day. It's just amazing how that one action, and everyone in my household, I mean, my youngest is 16, they're all fully capable of cutting a strawberry. But somehow, if I am the one that will take that initiative, it's a better healthy choice than them grabbing some kind of easy snack. And we do the same thing with grilling. In the summer, we do that a lot, grill a bunch of meat, and then we just eat on it during the week. So those are great tips. Something else I would love to hear about is you mentioned, we introduced you as the co-founder of Breakthrough Coaching, which is one of our branches here at KETO-SIStas. Tell us a little bit more about that, what that looks like for you. Tell us about the program.
So when people go through the 21-day challenge, just as you mentioned, a lot of people want to do it over and over and over again because they don't know what to do next. And from that was birthed a couple of things. We have Keto Confident, which a lot of women go into, but then again, some of them are like, I just really want accountability, or I really want to solidify some of the things that I learned. And that's kind of where Breakthrough Coaching was birthed from, because then, they have a couple of different options and that more to come on that. But we were trying really hard to develop a program that helped you every step of the way. So if food prepping and managing your food for your family was hard, we got you. We're working on that. If it's more, I'm trying to get healthy and incorporate exercise now into what I've learned, we've got you. We can help you with that. Obviously, mindset is huge. And so again, we got you. We'll take care of that. And we want to make sure that, we give you the tools so that you feel like you can be not only successful short term, but for a lifelong, duration, and make it a lifestyle and not be miserable doing it. That's the big thing, not being miserable doing it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, most diet programs out there, I mean, the word diet, excuse me, diet, guys, it has the word die in it because that's how most people feel when they're on a diet. Like, they just want to die. They're always hungry or hangry. They're grumpy. They're not very pleasant to be around. I mean, you all know this, right? Because you've either been there or you've been around someone who's dieting and I can't eat this, I won't do this. Like, it's just all negative.
Mm-hmm.
And so I love that you talk about mindset and making choices that are right for you, where you can enjoy life. And that's really where we want to get people. Like, we're not about perfection. We just want you to be able to live your life and enjoy it to the full. And you honestly cannot enjoy it to the full if you were where I was 5 or 6 years ago, when I was needing a nap just to get through my afternoon. And I felt like I didn't have the energy to do what I wanted and needed to do. Like, my food choices were no longer serving me. I might have gotten away with them in my 20s, but by the time I was in my mid 40s and now I'm 50, like that catches up to you.
Yeah. And you mentioned even aging. You said aging well, Bridget. You said you feel like as you get older, you just kind of accept that. And we even have something for you. Like, if you don't have to age poorly, you don't have to feel bad. You don't have to go through the societal norms of, oh, well, you're just getting older. That's what happens. Oh, you just are supposed to feel rickety. Oh, you're supposed to. No, you're not supposed to feel that way. I've seen some very vibrant, older adults, and it's because they made the conscious decision to take care of their health, and that's just huge. It's a big deal.
Oh, I cannot tell you how much I love what you just said. One of the things that I do when I'm not on the radio is I work with older adults in fitness classes. And so I work to help make sure that they keep their mobility, they keep their balance, they're trying to preserve and protect their lean muscle mass instead of just losing it as they get older, because that's what's expected, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, that can happen as we get older, but by golly, let's fight tooth and nail every inch of the way, right? Mm-hmm. And don't feel like just because you get older, you're going to start having memory lapses and you're going to be less mobile and you're going to need more rest. Like, those things aren't necessarily a natural process, part of the aging process, but they are part of the American aging process because mm-hmm. of how we fueled our bodies for decades and how we've treated our bodies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So stay tuned. We actually just today launched our coaches, Melinda and Tammy, has made that challenge with her. It's called Grace as We Age. It closes on Friday. So stay tuned. Check out the KETO-SIStas page. We'll put that in the comments because that is like the first one is coming, and it'll be a month before the next one starts. But it is an awesome challenge. Just seeing the content that they have. These ladies are so cute, but you have to be 60 or older to take it. It really is for people that are just looking to age gracefully on that side of the spectrum. So we are almost out of time, unbelievably. In fact, I was supposed to give a warning a few minutes ago, but I got totally caught up in the excitement of our new challenges. But Natalie, I would love to ask you a few rapid fire questions. So answer them like as fast as you can. Okay. So like 1 or 2 word answers. You ready?
Okay.
Okay. What is your favorite keto substitute?
Monk fruit.
Okay. What is your favorite benefit of keto?
Better sleep.
Nice. What do you miss the most?
Licorice.
What surprised you about keto?
How easy it is.
Oh, nice. What do you think is the biggest misconception that people have?
That it's hard. That it's too much to do.
Mm-hmm. What do you think is the biggest pitfall for people?
No consistency.
So true. Do you test your ketone levels?
I do.
Oh, how?
Preferably breath. I don't like pricking my finger. My fingers, I don't know if they're super sensitive. Maybe I set the thing too deep, but then my fingers are sore for 3 days.
And how often do you test
for days afterwards?
I don't know what it is. I was like, I know, but yeah.
Mm-hmm. How often do you test your ketones?
Once every couple days, maybe.
Awesome. And what is your best piece of advice for beginners?
Good, better, best. Go easy on yourself.
Yeah, I love what you said about your best is good enough. That was really like struck me. And last one, what do you wish everyone knew about keto?
There's so many things. There's a community out there. There's someone to help you. Don't fail and feel like you can't move forward. You can move forward. Definitely.
That is awesome. You guys, isn't Natalie great? She's a huge part of our community. In the comments, give her some love, give some hearts, tell her how great she did. Takes a lot of courage to get on here. I mean, Rebecca and I have been doing it for a while, so we kind of just get a little silly when we're on here, but it is hard to get on and do something that you maybe have never done before, or to be on the radio, be on the podcast, all of those things. So super thankful that you joined us. Do you want to say anything else before you go?
No, it was nice. Thank you for inviting me, guys. This has been great.
Oh, we loved having you here, and we especially love what you're doing with breakthrough coaching. We know you're impacting a lot of lives because people do like look for information. They'll do our Real Life Keto 21-day challenge, but a lot of people need either extra kind of one-on-one help, or they want to go in a specific direction. And I love that you're offering all kinds of opportunities and options for people to, once again, make a choice that's right for them and help them along their journey to better.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
And like Natalie said, whatever you're looking for, we got you. So that's it for now. Anyone?
All right, that's it for now.
Go create your best life.